Imagine seeing a tiny home rolling down the road on just 3 wheels. At first, you might think it is some kind of unusual delivery vehicle, but take a closer look and you realize this is something much more interesting. A compact camper trike designed to combine transportation, shelter, and adventure in one incredibly small package. With a price point of around $6,000 in this concept, the idea behind this tiny camper is simple. Instead of spending a fortune on a full-size motorhome, why not create a much smaller living space that can travel almost anywhere? And the design shown here takes that idea to another level. The first thing that grabs your attention is the retro-inspired exterior. The camper has a smooth cream-colored body with rounded edges that give it the appearance of a classic vehicle from another era. Dark red stripes run along the sides and front, adding a stylish vintage touch. It doesn't look like a traditional modern RV. Instead, it has a personality of its own. The front is especially unusual. There is a single wheel underneath the driver's section, giving the vehicle its distinctive 3-wheel layout. The large windshield provides a wide view ahead, while the rounded front nose, compact headlights, and simple bodywork make it look almost like a tiny classic automobile. But the real surprise is what happens behind the driver's cabin. Instead of ending where a normal tricycle would end, the body expands into a complete camper section. The raised roof above the driver's area creates additional interior space, while the compact living compartment behind it is tall enough to feel more like a tiny room than a simple vehicle cabin. On the side, large windows allow natural light to enter the living area. That is extremely important in a camper this small because good windows can make a compact interior feel much more open. There is also a side entrance, and when the door is open, you can see the warm wooden cabinetry inside. That wooden interior is another feature that makes this tiny camper so appealing. Rather than making the inside feel like a basic metal vehicle, the wood gives it a cozy, home-like atmosphere. Even though the available space is limited, smart design can turn every section into useful storage or living space. And that is really the secret behind a tiny camper like this. You don't need a huge floor plan if the interior is carefully organized. Storage can be built into cabinets, benches, walls, and other unused spaces. A compact sleeping area can provide a place to rest, while a small cooking or preparation area can make longer trips much easier. The exterior also includes several access panels and utility compartments. These details may not look exciting at first, but they are important because a practical camper needs space for equipment, supplies, electrical systems, water, and other essentials. The challenge is fitting all of those functions into a vehicle that is dramatically smaller than a conventional RV. The 2 rear wheels complete the unusual 3-wheel layout. Together with the single front wheel, they give this camper its unmistakable appearance. It looks almost like someone took a classic tricycle, stretched it, and transformed the rear half into a miniature home. And that's why this kind of camper gets so much attention. It isn't trying to compete with a luxury motorhome in size. It's going in the opposite direction. The goal is simplicity, mobility, and efficiency. Think about the possibilities. A vehicle like this could be used for weekend adventures, road trips, camping near the beach, traveling through small towns, or simply escaping the routine of everyday life. Because it is compact, the entire experience can feel much more connected to the road and the environment around you. Of course, a tiny camper also means accepting compromises. Interior space is limited, storage has to be carefully managed, and amenities cannot be as large as those found in a full-size RV. Driving a 3-wheeled camper would also require attention to its handling, stability, road conditions, and local vehicle regulations. But those compromises are exactly what make the concept so fascinating. This isn't about having everything. It's about having just enough to travel, sleep, explore, and live differently. From the rounded cream-colored body to the classic red stripes, large windows, wooden interior, and unmistakable 3-wheel stance, this camper proves that a home on wheels doesn't have to be huge to make a huge impression. For around $6,000 in the concept presented here, the idea is simple but powerful: less space, less complexity, and potentially more freedom. And whether you call it a camper trike, a tiny motorhome, or a miniature home on wheels, one thing is certain: this crazy little machine is impossible to ignore.